This is a self-contained shipping container washroom. It took us 1.5 years to design and build this thing. We learned a ton of hard lessons along the way, many of which apply to those looking to build a tiny home, live off the grid, or build yourself an underground bunker. The scope of this project is so vast that it's going to require multiple videos to show you exactly how we built this thing. Get ready to learn about redundant infrastructure that'll limit the number of poopy messes we got to clean up, and how to defy gravity to get poop to flow uphill. I'm Channing McCorson, the Container Guy. First, I want to give you some context on this project. Our customer is the city of Prince Albert, which is the 5th most dangerous city in all of Canada. This thing is going to be a public washroom at the Little Red River Park, right where it connects to the North Saskatchewan River. This is a flood zone that floods about every 3 years, and there cannot be septic tanks where this shipping container is going. Given this is going to such a rough and tough neighborhood, there was not allowed to be any exposed copper on this thing, and the washrooms had to be designed like jail cells. Don't get me wrong though, this park is absolutely beautiful and it hosts so many free activities all year round. So let's start this tour off by following the O. Henry. So if the O. Henry is actually in your child's pants, there is a change table here. So the customer actually wanted a stainless steel change table, and that's what we got, but still plastic on the inside so it's not freezing cold to lay a baby on there. But if it's you that needs to go number 2, how do we get the O. Henry to go through this toilet, all the way through the wall and up into the tank back here? For that, I'm gonna have to take you on a mystical journey back in time to see how we built the lift station. Here we have in-wall toilets. So these are awesome because we're very restricted, especially with all the new codes, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger with washroom accessibility, that these wall-mounted toilets, they save you 9 inches of depth. So we get a ton of extra space in here, but it's so tight. And if you can come over here and check it out, these things are meant to go straight down through the floor and gravity flow, but we had to crank these as far as we could in the steepest angle we could, collect them both into a Y and then into our tank. And so we're really thinking about serviceability and redundancy in this, and we know this potentially is a weak spot with this grinder pump in here. Like all pumps, there's gonna be issues and we're gonna have to service it. There's redundant floats in here that will shut everything off if the water gets to a level even lower than where those wires are, so we're good. We have this here. We have these grinder pumps. So this thing is literally like a shear, and any kind of feminine sanitary products or really anything other than like metal or potentially toothbrushes or something, this thing is going to grind, chew, and send to our larger holding tank. Welcome back. So the reason why we chose these in-wall toilets is not just because they saved us 9 inches of turning room inside of here. It's also because of past experiences that we've had. We've utilized the SaniFlow style toilets before that have the macerator pump right in a tank at the bottom portion of the toilet, and then your sink is actually going to flow right into there. And whether the sink is utilized or the toilet is utilized, once it hit a certain level, that grinder pump inside of there kicks on and pumps it over to our tank. But we've actually had issues where the floor temperature and the cold that transfers through the screws that go into our wood floor of our container freeze that tank. That, or they're just kind of a regular maintenance item, and it's something that you have to repair quite often versus just the durability and the ruggedness of an actual true grinder pump. But that being said, this system added so much complexity to this project, and probably one of the main reasons why it drug on for so long. So the everyday user looking to build your own unit, something similar like this, that SaniFlow is probably still the best option. The only other option out there is those incinerator toilets, but I don't know. You got plumbing in here and you want sinks and you want water. You're gonna need that stuff anyway. Might not be the absolute best option, and those things get super expensive. But now that you've dropped your O. Henry, the proper thing to do is wash your hands for 30 seconds, and you'll do that over here at this sink. So you can actually look here, this is in a bit of a pony wall, and we actually had to conceal as much of the plumbing as possible so that it is not tamper-proof. This is that jail cell type constraint that we had when designing this whole unit. And this thing is just fed either straight room temp water or could be tempered water. So a single water line heading to this, and that just turns on with the push of the button, runs for X amount of time, and then shuts off. Now that you've washed your hands are kind of wet, you need to dry them with our nifty paper towel holder here. So this thing is niched right into the wall. It's recessed in, but it's still not in far enough that we can't get our plumbing lines or electrical or anything in behind it. So it's really cool how we've designed this into the system because it saves us room for that 1500 millimeter turning radius that we require. Another thing we niched is our mirror. We have a drafted mirror that allows someone in a wheelchair to still see themselves because of the height that it needs to be installed at. And we also needed a shelf. We are able to achieve that right here. And you'll see here the motion sensor. This is actually what kicks those lights on. So as soon as that door opens up, this recognizes occupancy and lights are on and the ERV kicks into high. Here in the corner, there's actually an electric heater. This is a backup heater for those days beyond minus 28 degrees Celsius if our heat pump isn't able to keep up. But for most days of the year, these things chug. And so our heat pump condenser has 3 different heads, 1 per bathroom and 1 in the storage area of this unit. And the heat pump will be efficient because it doesn't have to battle a straight traditional bathroom fan that takes all your nice hot air or cold air and dumping it straight outside. We do that by utilizing an ERV in here. So up here in the ducting, there's a bulkhead through either the pony wall that we built, or we have a galvanized bulkhead here. And so there's a supply and a return, and we're able to circulate and constantly give fresh air and draw the stinky air out of these bathrooms. And on this side, it's the same thing replicated. Instead of the galvanized bulkhead, we've actually built that right into this pony wall with the supply or return and the lights built right into there. So our pot lights, it's kind of funky. They're shooting sideways instead of straight down, but it sure is nice and bright in here with the white interior. The other things that we require, soap dispenser, the sink had to be at the proper height for clearance for wheelchairs, and then grab bars. With all of this installed here, we finally have a National Building Code compliant municipal washroom. The upper bulkheads also allow us to run all of our refrigerant lines from the head units through the mechanical room unit and into the compressor. The lines coming from the head units all the way back to this compressor are copper. Everything needed to be concealed, and that's why we have this security screen here. And down underneath the compressor is bar grating. So we actually ripped out the wood floor where this would be and allow the condensate, when this is in heat mode, to drip right down through and onto the ground. So this here, we call this our AC condenser box. And this is a build in, not a build out, but it's a double layered sheet metal component here where we install the first frame and then we continue our spray foam all the way around that. And then we install this second version here that now acts as a workbench. The engineered foundation for this whole container is having it up on screw piles, and that's gonna give a nice gap there, which is very relatable to hurricane prone areas. But also, if you were to actually install it this way and you had a septic tank, you can now run all of your plumbing down and gravity flow right into the tank. But that is not allowed. It is in a flood zone, as I said earlier, and that flood would lift all of that sewage out of that tank and spill it off into the river. So all the way at the back end of this container is the septic tank and the water tank. One thing we learned from a previous job is to not use vented lids on the septic tank. We've actually hard vented that straight outside through its own dedicated vent, which comes out of our utility pass-through frame right here. This is nominally vertical, which means that we are 47 degrees on this angle. And as long as this stack isn't longer than 18 inches, it doesn't need to be insulated, and it has to be higher than the eave of the building. So this passes code. That's a great discovery because I hate poking holes through the roof. Another way that we mitigate the smell inside this container is through our 16-inch exhaust fan. So we have AC Infinity T16 exhaust fan here and our specialized frame that allows us a very nice vapor barrier as we spray foam around that and gets all that stink smell out of the utility room. And the septic tank is pumped out with this 3-inch cam lock fitting. So the honey wagon driver can actually hook his hose right up here, crack the valve, and pump out the entire tank. Now the water truck will actually use this access hatch in the container door, so they don't have to open up both the shipping container doors, and they'll fill with this 2-inch cam lock fitting. And this here has an overflow spout. So if the driver wasn't paying attention and ended up overfilling this tank, it will actually come spraying out right by their feet, and that's a signal for them to shut off their pump. Both of these tanks have floats inside of them, which are wired all the way through the bulkheads into this PLC. So inside this PLC, it has all the ladder logic programmed right into it to make sure that we don't run this thing when the septic tank's full or the water is empty. Stay tuned for another video. Our engineer Dawson is going to walk you through exactly what this means.
Hey, I'm Dawson James. I'm the Special Projects Manager here at Container Guy, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of how our control system on this bathroom can works.
But for now, Basically, if the red light is flashing or solid, or the yellow light is flashing, those mean something to the operator, and they give them a visual cue of what's going on inside of this washroom. Also in the back end is our ERV. This here is our exhaust fans that recapture some of the energy instead of dumping it straight outside like a traditional exhaust fan would. These here are a requirement in our national building code, and they should be a requirement all across the planet. Back here is also where our 120 240 volt panel is hiding, and this here is fed through this conduit and into our meter box. Originally, this was going to be fed from a service at another location on site, but it turns out that this is actually going to get its own service from our power suppliers. We'll also pull a conduit down that's going to host our ground cable and our ground plate. This gets buried at site and make sure that the power that's inside of here in the steel shipping container is nice and grounded. One other thing to note, when we pull permits on these shipping containers, we pull an RTM permit. I don't know if that's the same, every jurisdiction is slightly different, but it's an interesting thing to know. It's very similar to a ready-to-move home as these structures. There's nothing really else that it's similar to. And so that's the type of permit we pull. And then when they hook the final connection up on site, another permit is pulled for that service connection. So this unit here is very energy efficient, especially with the way that we frame our wall systems. We basically have a Yeti cooler inside this steel shipping container. All the foam goes around all of our structural members inside of this unit, and that allows us to heat or cool this very easily. So the things that we've learned here are going to help us and our channel do really cool projects, maybe off the grid projects. Maybe we'll bury a shipping container one of these days, or another type of structure that we can bury. But we do want to broaden our scope here with the YouTube channel. We want to concentrate on more than just shipping container mods. So if you're interested in learning about innovative infrastructure that has applications all across the planet, please help us out and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you got value from this video, give it a like. And if you want to see more, check us out at tcg.ca. Hope you learned something.